All right, guys, welcome to a SFX Trading Group breakdown and live session. So we're going to be breaking down an economic calendar and getting into the technicals for GJ and gold, and then obviously looking at any kind of charts that you guys are sending in and any kind of pairs that you guys want to look at. So looking over here on Monday, not much going on economically. You got the German IFO business climate. Obviously, that's a big deal. Being that for the euro, the main currency is the German economy, right? That's the main economy when it comes to the euro, and that came out worse than expected. We're going to get a lot of numbers in the next couple months, a lot worse than expected, I think, with a lot of inflation coming in, a lot of supply chain issues going on right now as well. So these are things that you guys want to keep a look at on for when it comes to fundamentally any of these pairs and what's going on with the global supply chain issues, energy issues as well. In many of these countries, especially Europe, with the energy right now. But these are things that you want to keep a look at for trading your pair. So tomorrow we have the CB Consumer Confidence coming out, Richmond Manufacturing Index as well. That's about it. If you trade the pairs that we trade, anything else not going to be too much big of a deal unless you trade the AUD, which I highly doubt any of you guys do. Moving into Wednesday, durable goods orders. Now, these numbers are going to be a lot worse than expected as well when it comes to supply chain issues going on in the U.S. You have monetary policy coming out for the CAD, right? So the CAD is another currency that's been kind of increasing the hawkish sentiment as far as increasing interest rates, starting on tapering, along with the Australian dollar and along with the New Zealand dollar. These are all currencies. All three of these currencies are currencies that are kind of, I don't want to use rushing as a word, but kind of hurrying this process up, even with contracting economies. You have all three of these countries where everybody's still locked down because of this virus and nobody's really producing as much, right? Not as many people are at work. A lot of people are in fear right now, basically, for what's going on around their country. But the country still wants to increase interest rates. They still want to start tapering. So that's something that you can compare the US dollar to, the euro to, Japanese yen to, who are all a little bit more dovish, other than the US right now, who's kind of on the fence. They're thinking about increasing interest rates, thinking about tapering next month. But again, the US dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen are all in the same boat, along with the Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and New Zealand, all in their same boat, with being kind of opposite to them. Now, you have the Bank of Japan outlook report coming out and monetary policy coming out for Japan as well. Again, I don't think anything's going to change with their interest rates. They haven't changed in years, basically at zero right now. So that's not going to change. But moving into Thursday, Thursday is going to be big, and I think this is what a lot of banks are waiting for. Is you got advanced GDP coming out, unemployment claims coming out as well. Last week we had 290, so let's see what we get this week. But monetary policy statement coming out for the euro as well. We have a lot going on this week, fundamentally, and when it comes to economic data. Now you got German prelim GDP coming out. You have core PCE price index. Now, some would say that core PCE price index is the main thing that the Fed looks at when it comes to inflation. They look at CPI, of course, but PCE is basically, it even says it right here. Obviously, changing the price of goods and services purchased, excluding food and energy, but difference from core CPI. This is rumored to be the Fed's favorite inflation measure, but CPI is released about 10 days earlier and tends to garner most of the attention. So both of them obviously very important, but this is going to be a big number for this week and something that they're going to be paying attention to. Now, obviously finishing off as usual with the University of Michigan consumer sentiment and then inflation expectations. They have it at, the previous was 4.8. So we'll see what we get this week. Also, Treasury currency report as well, something that you want to pay attention to. So we also have, before we finish off with this, we have some G7 countries meeting this week, especially from the Euro. So we'll see what they have to say. But other than that, that's about it for the economic calendar. we'll get into the breakdown of the charts over here. So we'll start with GJ as always, and we'll break down our monthly, not monthly, but yearly bearish trend that we've been in that we're now breaking out of, which is a big deal, right? Tapped in here multiple times. Now, Jody, this is something that you might want to pay attention to, because this is honestly the first time I've really broken down the chart or GJ for you. A lot of these guys know what GJ, what we're expecting from GJ and what we've been doing on the higher time frames. But as you can see, price over here back in 2007, this was our 2008 market crash. Price coming all the way back down into the 120 area after holding support, and then we got into a little recovery, little corrective phase. Buyers came in, sellers kind of cashed out, and then we ended up retesting that previous low over there as well. So 120 was holding support over here, but then over here after our market recovery, right, we ended up reaching 195 before they announced Brexit was going to be happening. They announced that that Great Britain was basically going to break off economically from any kind of dependence on the euro or the basically the euro. So we ended up crashing all the way back down below 130, but never breaking the low of the 2008 market crash, right? And then we had that little recovery over here, and then COVID right over here ended up happening, which never broke the low as well of the 2008 market crash, right? So this area right over here, since COVID and since we held support right over here and started pushing up, 156 was always the target. And we had multiple months where price was just extremely bullish, coming all the way up to 156. So we're going to mark 156 off right now. So now, obviously, we broke 156. What was it, last week or the week before? Yeah, it was the week before, week of October 11th to the 15th, where price broke above and created the high at 158, like I broke down on that chart before, the trade that I previously took. So we ended up breaking up, and now we're coming down to retest 156 to possibly hold above 156 and continue up, especially if next month they do start increasing interest rates or tapering, right? You're going to see GJ continuing right back up. Now, before we go to the lower time frames, actually, let's mark off these candle body highs over here. Not that this is too relevant over here, but we had these candle body highs that we came down to retest, holding support and continuing right back up to retest 156 and break above it as well. But looking at this area right over here, we have this market recovery since the beginning of COVID. Price has just been making higher lows and higher highs and pushing all the way up, right? But looking at this market formation, if you look to the left, right over here is the same market recovery from the 2008 market crash, right? This is our market recovery. Price creating these lows at 120 and then pushing all the way up. Now, we ended up pushing all the way up to 156. 156 is a previous level as well. It's not just right over here or right over here. If you look to the left, you get a bunch of rejections over here as well, right over here, and right over here, right? So now that we see this, this looks very similar. It's not going to look exactly like it, but we reached 156. We ended up correcting a little bit, holding support around 149. Actually, let's do the, I almost got it. Perfect. So ended up holding support over here at 149, right? And then we ended up just skyrocketing, right? And that's where that monetary policy comes in, increasing interest rates, healthy GDP, healthy country as far as what it was in the past with this market crash over here. But as you can see, we broke above 156 over here. We held support. We broke the high of these two wicks, and then we just skyrocketed. So could we end up getting that hold? The month is almost over in about 6 days. Could we end up holding above 156, retesting like this, right? Holding support over here, 156. Then they end up increasing interest rates in the next month or two, and we just end up skyrocketing. So use history to your advantage and study the way your pairs moved in similar market conditions, right? So that's what we have over here. Our next level, I would say, is around 163, but we'll break that down on the lower time frames over here. Yeah, so I think our next area of interest is going to be actually 160, this wick over here, and then 163 eventually. Once we break that, is this wick right here. But this wick is going to be our next area of interest. 163 flat. Get the psychological number. And again, price holding support right there, 156. Actually make a zone right there. And remember, what we've paid attention to multiple times, especially on GJ, is the fact that when we get candles like this, right over here, this bearish candle with the top wick and barely a bottom wick, this wick fills, right? Especially if price is coming down from a new high and price is coming down and we end up getting a candle like this right over here, normally that wick ends up getting filled, right? So maybe that might take a little bit of time, but I think we could fill that wick as long as we hold 156 as that support. Looking at the daily, again, we created the high at 158, which is our new area of interest. We have a previous support over here that we need to be aware of if price is going to break through that. But I think if we hold support at 156, we should be retesting 158, especially with the market sentiment and any kind of talks about increasing interest rates. Now, over here, since tapping 158, we've been in this bearish trend coming all the way down to 156, right? So far, we're holding support over here. Let's see if we have any valid trend lines to help guide us. So we're still in a bullish trend. We'll see if that could be moved. If the valid trend line is coming right up here, I really take trend lines like a grain of salt, but they do help. We do have a previous support right over here, right? Previous range. Is this going to end up being a fake out? Is this going to be an area where we tapped into 156, right? We held support. We ended up breaking through this previous support, coming down, retesting 156. Are we going to break and close above 156,800 to then continue right back up to our next levels? Let's see what we got. We have a previous resistance right up here that we could be retesting if we do close back into that range. But again, we're in this bearish trend, printing lower lows and lower highs. So we'll see if price ends up respecting that. Now, this is the trade that I got this morning, right? We're respecting lower lows, lower highs, created this new low at 156, come right back up to 158, hold resistance, get a nice strong bearish candle right over here. This candle creates its top wick past the low of that candle, and this is the trade that you grab, right? I ended up closing perfectly at 156, around 156 200 over here after getting like 15, 16 pips, mirroring the move to the left. But again, I'm not really expecting price to retest 156 again, right? I'm expecting us to maybe hold the support, and I'm just going to grab a piece of this move, right? Yes, my TP was down here, but realistically, isn't there a high probability after bouncing off 156 and retesting it again that we could possibly be holding a higher low over here, right? Holding a higher low right over here to then hold the support and maybe continue up. So that's why I was happy with that pip count. Obviously, I'm always looking for 10 to 15 pips anyway. That's where I just ended up closing the full thing because I didn't think we'd be breaking down over here. So ended up being right. But we'll see if we break above resistance right over here, if we could catch a move right back up to 157 400. But again, I want to actually move that right over there. Got more of a cleaner move right here up to 157 400, like I said. So let's see if we break through. I don't want to trade anywhere in here right now. This is the 1 hour and this is the 30-minute. I want to kind of stay out of this and wait to see if we break out of that resistance, or if we break 156, where we're going to head next. All right, got another cleaner move to the left to come right back down to 155 400. but we'll see if that's what we get. We are below both the EMAs, 250. I don't use that to trade. I just use that to follow the trend and see what's going on. But again, no trade range in here. I'm just going to stay out of this. Highly recommend you guys as well. And we'll see if we end up breaking out of this today. Again, it's only Monday. Be smart, be safe, have your plan. No need to just jump into trades and maybe you put in a lot of work this weekend and you're eager to just jump into a trade because you did a ton of back testing and stuff. Hold back from that. Just make sure that all your trades are accumulating to a successful week at the end of the week. It's not about one trade being it, right? It's not about one trade just being the make or break trade for you. It's so that you could make $1,000 on this thing and be happy with it. It's about accumulating small trades, stacking small little scalps, and making sure that you're sticking to your plan, and they accumulate to a successful week at the end of the week, like most of you guys had last week, at least the ones that I've spoken to so far. But so that's GJ, no trade range. Wait for us to break out. Let's take a look at gold over here and see what we got. Now, again, very similar market structure to what we've had over here from the 2008 market recovery, right? But I think this is going to be different because the market hasn't actually crashed yet, right? Our market right now is in a major bubble as far as stimulus, as far as, even back in 2008, us buying banks out to kind of save us from that crash, which still never really worked. You had the mortgage crisis going on back in 2008, so it's a little bit different of market structure or market sentiment. It's a much different market right now. But again, with inflation, if we had a real recovery and we were recovering out of COVID, you would see us breaking 1680 and continuing right back down, kind of like what we did over here once we start increasing interest rates and tapering and everything like that. But again, with inflation and everything else going on right now, I think we may hold support and continue right back up to retest some of these higher numbers around like 1900 or maybe even 2000 if we get some kind of inflation. Because think about it, this is a hard metal. This is something that people can buy, a tangible metal that they can hold on to. People buy jewelry with it, whatever the case may be. This is something to hedge against inflation. Also, they're talking about crypto as well, hedging against inflation, but we'll see about that. This is brand new. Crypto is brand new when it comes to all that. We've been in a bullish market since 2011. So we've been in a bullish 2010, 2011. So we've been in a market recovery for about 12 years now. So we don't know what it's really like or how crypto is going to react to a market crash. All right. So again, let's mark off some of our levels that we pay attention to. 1680 is one of them. Cool. We got 1830, our previous resistance right over here. So marking off key levels. And that's about it when it comes to our current market structure right over here. These are the only two levels that we need to pay attention to, and then we'll mark off some more in between. But right now, price is really ranging on the lower time frames. As you can see, price kind of in a bullish trend, right? 2017, 2018, Trump came into office, right? We had the Iran issues, we had China issues, and we had COVID, which pushed us to historical highs. Then we had the recovery. We had vaccines coming in. And then, obviously, we had the inflation issues. We had the geopolitical issues with Israel and Gaza. We had Afghanistan as well. But then we had 2 straight months, a couple months ago, of solid, June, solid NFP coming out, right? Another one, August, solid NFP coming out, right? Which pushes right back to 1680 to hold support. But right now, we're in this higher time frame range that we need to just be aware of. Now, we ended up filling this wick that we talked about last week and the week before. This wick right over here. Once we held support around 1740, previous resistance. We ended up printing this candle right over here with a bullish candle with a wick to fill, with 16 or 1830 being that significant resistance over there. We can mark this off right there, but we ended up filling that wick perfectly. This is a solid candle. If you guys are, especially scalpers, and I always say this, but scalpers, what you want to do right now is you want to master scalping. You want to get as good as you possibly can at scalping your one or two pairs, right? But the next level for you to really stomach the market and really get, expand your horizons, I guess that's the best way to say it, is for you to start exploring how to swing trade, to really get used to holding trades over a longer period of time and really getting used to that and experiencing that. Not that you have to do that and change your strategy completely, but it's just something that if you want to really test your mind and test your stomach and really start holding trades over a longer period of time, because you see these moves happening on the lower time frame, you know that you can catch the 300 to 400 pips on your pair as well. That's another level that you can reach, is swing trading. So right now, if you're a scalper, you should be back testing or live back testing or just journaling the trades that you could have taken, the higher time frame trades, right? Price taps into 1680 over here, forms that double bottom on the daily, right over here. How do you catch this move right here, right? This entire move, how many pips is this? So you get that confirm that price is closing bullish right over here at 1680 on the daily. You just got 2,000 pips right here. Oh, Reese, this is perfect. Reese, you with me?
Yeah.
So gold right here, if you take a look at the pip count, what we were talking about yesterday, gold right over here, 20,000. This is actually 2,000 pips. So you just have to move this decimal on gold, move that decimal to the left. Instead of 20,000, it's 2,000. Now, when it comes to GJ, you don't have to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So 2,000 pips right here that you could have caught on GJ if you really pay attention to that and start journaling some of these swing trades that you could have gotten. But again, on the weekly, this was a candle that you could have journaled, or you can journal right now. Say you entered this like this. Stop loss below the previous, 200 pips away. Your main TP is 620 pips away at 1830, but you're going to definitely be securing once we fill that wick. It's a perfect formation right there. Now, moving down to the daily, you can start adjusting some levels. Actually, we can leave that one. That's a pretty solid level, around 1750. But right now, price is holding this support as well. Previous range right over there as well. But since tapping into 1720, 1723, we've been bullish, right? We're ranging over here. I haven't actually taken a trade on gold in a couple of weeks now, I would say. It's been mainly GJ, just because we're in this daily 4-hour range right over here. Like, I really don't like this. I think we could end up filling this wick over here if we close above resistance right here. But again, this is a whole range. Price is just printing sideways. There's no real trend other than this intraday trend right over here that price is creating these higher highs and higher lows. But again, it's a little messy over here. So we have that previous resistance right there. Let's see if this aligns with anything. I'd actually rather just move this up right here. Perfect. Previous resistance, support, resistance over here, printing higher highs and higher lows. Kind of sitting in this range right here. Let's see if we break resistance at 1810. We got a clean move to the left right up to 1830 that we could get. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour is just very messy price action over here that I like to stay away from. But let's see if we break above 1808, 1810, and then mirror the move to the left. Back over here. Perfect. It's a nice clean move that we could take right up there. Just be aware of this consolidation over here. Who trades gold in here? Chris and I think Nathan? Or are you just on GJ, Nathan?
I'm on gold. I actually just took a trade. I caught 10 and I'm out.
Okay, so you probably caught this little dip right over here.
Yeah, on the 5 minute, I just took it looks pretty clean on the 5 minute. So I got in at 18.2 or so on the 5 minute, and it was on like a little wick fill out of it with a clean move to the left. And then yeah.
I actually like this. You know, we create this high over here, create this support, get this bullish 30-minute candle closing. Only issue is this candle didn't have a bottom wick formed.
Yeah. It was the lower time frames for me at the moment are looking, when the market structure is solid, it's nice.
Yeah.
And it's clean, like, and I've been looking at it, and the lower time frames, it's really, really like, if the market structure isn't solid and you're just entering a trade for entering a trade, you're just gambling, you're just taking a risk, and there's nothing in it. Like, so yeah, there's me entered there on that wick fill.
Yeah.
On the 5 minute, and price pushed up. The next 5 minute candle obviously created that bottom wick. But I like the way that it created the bottom wick, just retesting that previous resistance that it kind of looked like it was stuck at.
Right here?
Yeah, right there, like that. And then I just stuck in it and it came back up and pushed all the way up for me.
Beautiful. And this was
it could be about 12 pips, and then
beautiful.
Yeah, and I still got the runner now, so I'm just going to leave the runner, let it go.
There you go. Clean move to the left. And do you have a target, or just probably this high?
It's probably going to be the high, to be honest. I have it set at the high. I might just secure at the high again, because obviously if it goes up there, we could go to 1810 and from 1810 onwards. But yeah, I secure again. And I've just got the TP set at that 180. I think it's 1803.5 or something like that.
Okay. Cool. I like it. Yeah, I mean, some of these lower time frames you could definitely catch a move on. When I talk about like trading in here, I'm talking about like trying to catch any like long-term stuff, right? Like there is a clear direction as far as like bullish momentum, but as far as being confident in holding a trade over a longer period of time, it's very choppy in here. But when it comes to these lower time frames, if you want to grab a quick scalp, as you see prices just creating these supports, comes up, create that retest the previous high, and then we continue up to create a new high. Then we come down, consolidate a little bit, then retest the previous high. This is a nice little move right over here that you could be getting if you watch gold enough, where we hold this healthy support, price breaks above 1800, and you get some volume to push us up. That's 7 o'clock volume right there, which is about 15, 16 pips. So that would have been good. So it's a good way to start the week. Nathan, did you take anything last week, or you were just watching the market?
Just watching it, really.
Cool. So this is your first trade back?
That's my first live trade back, yeah.
Wow, he's back. I love it. Good stuff. So yeah, we it's a good breakdown of both pairs, and we just sit back and wait. See, GJ is still kind of ranging in here. Now, do you guys have any other pairs that you guys want to break down? Or do you have charts that you want to send? Which is better? So I get to see what you guys are thinking. Like I said, I want to make these things a little bit more organized. Obviously, we could shoot the shit. We can, do our thing. But like, it just makes it so much better for you guys to go back and watch on YouTube. I know Reese likes to do that as well. So Reese, this will be starting right from the market breakdown. So you get a rewatch of that. And then we get into talking and going over some psychological stuff as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's good that they're you always post them on YouTube because I pretty much every day I go back to the session, right?
That's
So
awesome. Keep doing that, dude. That's gonna make you so much better. I remember Rakil when he started his live streams. He said one thing that really turned him around and got him better is he would go back and watch him again, right? And that's watching film. Me personally, I don't watch myself again, which I honestly should. With my days are crazy. So that's why I have the journaling, and I learn a lot from my journal. So um, I would like to rewatch some of these, but a little life hack: not fast forward, but if you watch a video on YouTube, especially these live streams, make sure that you're let's see, watch them in speed. Like you can hit this button right here. Actually, you gotta wait for the video to start. But I watch almost every YouTube video like this. Especially if it's like a basketball game. Obviously, I'm not gonna watch it like this, but if it's like a self-help video, if it's a trading video, I'll speed this thing up to playback speed 1.5, 1.75, sometimes 2.0, and you get through the video twice as fast, which means you can go back and watch another video in the same amount of time you've been watching that first video. See, that's one thing that you guys got to understand is time is everything. And you only have so much of it. There's scarcity of time. So you want to buy as much time back as possible. You want to be going 100 miles an hour throughout your days, especially during the week, making sure that you're completing tasks, hitting your daily goals, so that you have a successful week altogether. Let's see. Carlos, how you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? Good morning.
Good morning. How was your weekend?
Pretty good.
Cool.
Spent time with family.
I
I did some back testing yesterday.
There you
Yeah,
go.
everything. Yeah, the weekend was great.
Awesome, man. Yo, with your trading, how are you feeling as a whole? Like 1 to 10, uh, where do you want to improve? I know you've been journaling a little bit more, seeing some of the benefits of that. Reese, if you could get into some of the benefits that you've been seeing with journaling, that'd be awesome. But right after this, but Carlos, how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like a good solid like a solid 7, honestly. Like
Okay.
I've had a good week, the previous week, last week, I played it cool because I worked a lot, but I still did a couple of back testing and looking at the charts. But other than that, I think my only weakness is my entries.
Okay. Your
Yeah,
entries and
yeah.
what about your entries?
I think sometimes on my trades,
Okay.
like I think I read the market structure like I enter a little too early,
Okay.
and sometimes like my strategy, my analysis is A1,
Yeah.
but like, the entry sometimes it's just a little too early.
Or do you have a specific set of rules like what we laid out in your trading plan of what you follow when it comes to your entries or your exits and having that plan? Like, do you find yourself entering a trade just because you think it's going to play out and not knowing where to enter? Or, do you have that set definition of, okay, if price does this, I'm going to do this. If price passes the high of this previous candle, I'm going to be entering. If price closes bullish, I'm going to be entering this buy. Like which one do you mainly feel yourself in?
Yeah, for sure. I have I usually try to go for the break and retest strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I guess it's that FOMO, like maybe like, oh, if it doesn't do that retest, then I might miss this trade, kind of.
Okay. Now, in those cases, you got to have your clear set of rules that if price does this, I'm going to do this. And if you miss it, you got plenty more opportunities to come. If price doesn't retest and you don't feel comfortable taking this trade, then just don't take it and just watch it, journal it, right? Live back test it. You still get a little bit of experience. You still train your eyes. You're not as emotionally involved in the trade, so it won't stick with you as much, but you're still live back testing it and journaling it so that the next time after that, you can catch it. Because if you're sitting there waiting for the retest and price just takes off without you, you got to ask yourself, how could I have gotten in this trade? How could I have taken this? Maybe drop down to the lower time frames, especially on these pairs that we trade. You know, it's valid to drop down to the 5 minute and the 1 minute on GJ and gold. On EJ, maybe you really don't need that, right? On UJ, maybe you really don't need those lower time frames. But it's always good to have those, especially with these pairs that we trade. It's good to have those to look in because you always want to see what you could be doing better. If I enter this trade on the 30 minute and it's a good entry, okay, let me just see, like, not that I'm going to micromanage this trade, but I'm going to go back and look at this trade. Okay, if I were to enter this on the 5 minute or the 1 minute, could I have entered earlier, or could I have had a tighter stop loss that would have been valid according to my rules? Right. So it's good to always look at that and see what you could have been doing better. But has journaling, have you seen it kind of click for you a little bit? I know you were mentioning something the other day.
Sure. Yeah, man. Journaling does the trick for sure.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, yeah.
Just got to stay consistent with it. And, you know, maybe right now you don't have as much of a sample size, but you're going to see it once you have, you know, a journal like this where it's like trade after trade after trade that you could be studying and looking at according to your pairs. And this is just one board that I have, but you'll be able to go back and study what you've done in the past. And once you start just diving into that, sitting there with a laptop in front of a TV or something when you're with your family or something like that, you're just looking at your previous trades. It's like, wow, like a lot of these wins are very similar. A lot of these losses are very similar. I'm losing the same way every single time. Maybe I should cut that out. Right? That's what it's for. And if you don't have it, there's always that other level that you could be getting to. Even if you're a very profitable, very successful trader, you still, I think I was just going over this with Jody the other day. You still have another level that you could reach. You still have so much studying and experience that you could be gaining from studying that journal. I know we got to get Chris back in the journaling, right?
Yeah, I start this week. That's why I haven't took a trade. I haven't took a trade yet because I'm like, I know I gotta journal it and send it off. So I want to make sure it's, you know, not perfect, but you know, it's in my rules.
100%. That's another little trick of journaling. It keeps you from over trading, right? If you know the journaling part is tedious, right? Yeah, I mean, I like journaling. I don't mind it. I like being in the zone. That I think that's the best way of explaining it. It doesn't have to be just journaling, but it could be sitting at my computer reading, charting, journaling, whatever the case may be. I just like being in the zone. And in journaling, you put on some good music and you just open up the chart, start journaling pairs or trades that you could have taken. It's so powerful. But again, after a little bit, it gets a little tedious, right? All the writing, all the screenshots, all that stuff, it becomes a lot. So for you don't want to be journaling 5 different trades a day, right? So if you tell yourself and you stick to your self-discipline of I need to journal every single trade that I take, it's going to stop you from over trading because you're not going to want to journal all these trades. You're only going to want to journal 1 or 2 trades, right?
Yeah.
So that's where that comes in as well, and it holds you back from that. Holds you back from the FOMO as well.
Yeah, I had that problem this week actually.
Yes, yeah. Let's go over that.
So from Tuesday, I started slacking off a little bit on the journaling, and then so I started Saturday evening, and I had like 12 trades for the week that I didn't journal. So now I thought I was going to be able to finish it yesterday, but I only got around to doing 6 of them. So it does, it takes a lot of time.
It does
to
take a lot
journal.
of time, yeah.
Yeah, because there's like with the thoughts that you already have for your trades, there's going to be even more thoughts as you keep staring at the charts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah, I had this thought of just catching up, and then every trade that I take after that, I got to make sure I journal it that way I don't fall behind.
100%, man. Yeah, make that a goal for yourself this week is just journaling every single trade and making sure that you go back on a Friday or Saturday. Let's say we end the session on Friday. I know a lot of you guys at work, but maybe like Reese, you as an example, you come back from work around 2.
Yeah.
So you come back home, you kind of put trading away for a while after working for hours, right? And trading in the morning on Friday. Now you come back, go back and do that full week review on the pair and back test. Did you get the rewind or the replay tool?
Yeah, it's really good actually. I like it. It's just I wish it would show more moves, like
Me too.
a few more moves,
Yeah, that's why I have the simulator.
It does the job though. It does the job.
100%. Yeah, like I love the simulator for that reason, because it moves like this, right? It moves the way the market is. You could speed it up, you could slow it down, but it's not like it's 2 clicks and then all of a sudden the candle is closed, right? Which is what you don't want. But as long as you're back testing and kind of guessing where price is going to go, I think that's really all that matters. But it is good to watch the candle movements the way they do. You can always drop it down and do the rewind tool on the 1 minute, but that's up to you. Let's see, Jody, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Awesome. Did you take
Can you hear
anything
me?
yet this morning?
No, I have not.
Okay, cool.
I'm kind of watching the AUD USD.
Okay. So you do trade Australian pairs?
I like that pair a lot. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So once you get through the full course, we're gonna, like I said, hop on another Zoom and we're gonna put together a trading plan for you, because I know you don't have one yet. So that's another big void that we can kind of cut down and really figure out your trading from there. After creating a trading plan, now we get start studying the movement, studying what you're looking for, what makes sense to you, and then you move forward from there.
Okay, fantastic. I like the Euro Yen too.
Yeah.
Really like that pair.
Okay. Well, listen, if you want to send a chart, do you know how to send charts?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
just copy and paste them.
Yeah. So you do this, copy chart image, or
Mhm.
actually I think maybe copy link to the chart and then just go to the chat and then copy it right into here. Yeah, I think it would have to be linked to the chart. There you go. Yeah, just send that in there, and any of these pairs that you're looking at, I'll take a look at it. I'll see, maybe I'm thinking something differently. Maybe I'm giving you confluence of I'm seeing the same exact thing, and maybe we could go back and break down the chart ourselves, or I could just break it down on yours with the drawing tools on here.
Okay.
Because these are the 2 pairs that we look at. I do look at EJ, or I used to trade EJ, but I took a step back. I was like, I'm only focusing on GJ and gold. And you can make a very good living just trading 1 pair, let alone 2.
Right.
But just know that the more you trade, the more you lose.
Yeah, that was the problem I had, was I'd find myself getting overwhelmed by looking at 10 or 15 pairs. So then I narrowed it down to 4. And then now I got in this group, so I'm more so watching GJ and gold.
There you go.
Because that's what you guys watch. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good having a bunch of people trading 1 pair. So everyone's got their outlook and everyone's kind of on the same page with it. So here's the fun part of trading, is just sitting and waiting. Let's see. Do we have any trades that we can go over from the group Trello? Jody, did you join Trello?
I did.
I know
I figured that out
really good.
yesterday. So
Awesome.
the next trade I take, I'll send in there.
There you go. There you go. Okay, Carlos has one over here. Let's break down a couple of these while we're waiting for the pairs. Let's see. Nathan, we broke this down last week, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So yeah, I remember being a little confused about this.
Yeah.
But it definitely clicked in. But I like the detail. I like everything that you got.
Have this gold trade anyways. I'm in the middle of journaling it. So as soon as I'm done journaling it, I'll copy it into the group Trello as well.
Awesome. I already created a
New
week there for you, so you could just copy it into the week.
Nice
I
one.
think, Jody, I added you to this, right? Joseph Freights. Perfect. All right. So this is that 100 pip trade I took last week. Let's see. I think we broke these down. I think we broke this down with Tiger. We didn't break this one down yet. I'll start with this one, then we'll get into everyone else's. All right. So obviously last week we broke 156, closed above 156, actually the week before. And then last week we created this bottom wick, and then we were pushing right up to 158, which is 158, 200, which is that level that we were looking at, our next area to the left that was our target. Right. So we ended up holding support right down here. This is the daily. This is 158, 200 right over here. We got that bearish movement, previous resistance, price rejecting it after coming right back down into this range and then closing above. Now you got the retest of the previous range right over here. And then price closing right back into the area. This bearish movement obviously was from a very highly technical level, but also from the negative CPA coming out, or CPI coming out. CPA. Yeah, CPI coming out. Get rid of this. Now, again, we had a little fake out over here. Price in overall bullish trend. We end up retesting this area, get a nice rejection. This candle closes above, right? We get this high point created. Then we get the retest of 157,500 and the support formed. Once we create this higher low, right? This wick never passed the low of that candle and then past the high of that candle. You know that with that volume coming in, that you're going to get this trade. I think, when did I take this? It doesn't say. It says it on the card. I'll see it in a second. But there was an impulse entry, 5 minute, 1 minute, and price just kind of pushed up. This was that level that I was a little bit worried about, but I was pretty confident we pushed through it with a clean move to the left. Closed full at 158 as the session was done. Happy with the pip count. Kind of consolidated over here at the 15 minute. That's about it. But again, nice support, nice fake out. Again, with these fake outs, especially in our direction, and we're above the 200 EMA over here as well. But with these formations and these fake outs, there's a high probability price is going to break out and either retest the previous resistance over here or break through. There's about a 60 to 70% chance that we're going to retest this support over here, and about the same amount of chance that we're going to break through 158 and continue up. But that was my confluence. So solid trade over there. Let's see. Tiger took, I think this is the same trade. I know this is gold over here. Good detail. And again, that first trade that he took that we went over, he didn't have as many screenshots. And then I told him, like, listen, these are things that you want to take as far as like detail and stuff like that. And he ended up taking a ton of screenshots over here. So that's good. 30 minute, you get a little fake out over here, bearish fake out. He understood, right? Once you get that fake out, price closes back into the range. There's a high probability that we're going to retest that previous resistance. So we ended up holding support right over here, pushing up. I probably would have entered after this candle closed, right? So I would have entered this right here. Stop loss right here. And I would have secured at 1-to-1 as we filled that wick. Quick little 1-to-1 scalp. Stop loss right to break even. Right? We'll see how this ends up playing out. I think he ended up buying at the high up here. Triple convergence. See, some of these screenshots are a little difficult to understand. He's not on the live right now, so can't really close 80% at 10 pips. Okay, so we ended up holding support right here. He entered, I guess, as this candle created its bottom wick and flipped bullish. Most of my attention was on the 15-minute time frame. I waited for price to break the high of the previous 15-minute candle. 5-minute became too worrisome, so I had to be patient. Okay, this is the 15-minute. Perfect exit. See, like, it's difficult to read other people's journals when they're not on here because you can't really understand where they're going with it. But I'm not going to sit here and read all this with you guys right now. I'll do this on my own time or with him. But again, the more detail you put in this, obviously for yourselves, when you go back and read this months later, but at the same time, like it does help me or anybody else in the group when they're going through this group journal, you know, what you guys were thinking, right? I think it's pretty simple to see what I was thinking on this with my entry. That's why I love this P&L tool right here, because I put it exactly where I entered the trade on the candle that I trade, right? If I took this, when this candle closed and we held support right here, where I entered right here, stop loss right down here, you would see this tool right here, exactly where I entered the trade. If I entered after this candle closed, it would have been placed right there, stop loss right there, and I would have, you know, you would have seen this whole thing. But again, very detailed when it comes to these bubbles and every single screenshot that you could send in there. It's for your future self, so that you can go back and thank yourself for being so detailed with it. Let's get into Carlos's trade. This is a trade that I called during the Asian session of last week, right? So we had this bearish trend on GJ, price coming down. We created this low, come right back up to retest, create this resistance, and now we're coming down. Now, I like this trade a lot. I took the same trade last week, but I think I would have entered this a little bit earlier. I like what you were doing over here. And the other thing is, you know what I'm going to say when it comes to the screenshots, but you only have, I think, 2 here. But I think we already went over this as far as like getting more screenshots of the higher time frames. Did we talk about this?
Yeah.
Awesome.
My next journal is gonna be more detailed for sure.
Yeah. So like I said, whenever you trade next or get the next journal, you know, you'll take a picture of the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, the 1 hour, the 30-minute, 15-minute, and every single screenshot, every single time price does something. But I like this a lot. Now this would have been helpful to see what the 15-minute looked like, because I think the 15 had a good entry. Yeah, I think that's what I entered on as well. But again, good overall trade. Actually, I entered this as we passed the low of this wick with a 1-hour stop loss. I believe. Let's just double check that. Right here. Yeah, I entered this as we broke the low of that candle. Stop loss 1 hour. We're in this bearish trend over here. Got the low to retest. Clean move to mirror. Price comes down to this level right over here. Secured 80% at 13 pips. previous support, stop loss at break even, stop loss hit at break even. But see all these screenshots and see how I took a screenshot of the 1 minute. This is where I could have secured another percentage based on the 1 minute support holding, right? We went over this last week, but this is something that you could be doing where it's like, all right, let me look at the 1 minute where I could secure even better. The 60-second price action. That's critical. Not as strong, obviously, but critical. Now, GJ over here holding resistance. We got that little liquidity grab. Now we're starting to head right back down. Are we going to retest this low and continue down? But now we're just kind of ranging. Anybody have any questions?
Do you ever look at the US 30?
You're 30, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing as the DJ 30, right?
As oh yeah, Dow Jones. That's what the US 30 is.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Forex pair of the Dow Jones.
Yeah, because I was just taking a look at the charts and like usually there's like a lot of action around 9 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, around 9 a.m. Eastern. So
That's a good point. Damn, we're reaching historical highs up here. It's unbelievable. So equities are high. I know pre-markets were bullish. So now we're
I was kind of looking into this pair for swing trades.
okay.
Like to learn swing trades on, but I think I'm just gonna stick to GJ and gold for now.
Okay.
Till
I
learn a little bit more.
Yeah, just keep in mind that the more time you spend on learning new things as far as new pairs, new setups, all that stuff, the more time it takes away from mastering that first pair that you have that you still haven't mastered. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason we always focus on one or two pairs, one or two setups, all that stuff is because you're mastering the little things, the main things right there. It's the same thing as going into business. When you go into business, most people, most very successful people don't make their money from being having their hand in all these different types of businesses, real estate, e-commerce, trading, all that stuff. Like it's because they focused on one thing in the beginning. They got really good at it. Let's say real estate, right? And then they took their money and they put it into other avenues. But they had their really good or their really stable income first. And that's what you got to have with trading. You got to have your really good, stable, reliable pair first that you know inside and out. You want to be the go-to person for that. And then eventually, once you're very profitable with that, you're doing really well, then you move on to something else. Then you move on to backtesting US 30 and stuff like that. But the more time you spend on US 30 takes your time away from GJ or your main pair.
Especially the backtesting.
Yeah. And that's not me telling you not to do it. It's just me telling you, like, you might want to focus on this a little bit first and then get profitable, make some good money. And then, all right, now let me move on to US 30. Now, that doesn't mean you can't live backtest US 30. Like when we're sitting here, right, and we're just waiting for GJ to play out. You got nothing going on with GJ right now. You can look at US 30 and say, okay, we're basically at historical highs over here. We're holding this support right here, 4 hour. Okay. I mean, this is a bad example because price is ranging, but I think price can hold the support right here and retest this wick. So let me do this. Let me put my entry right here. I'm going to enter after this candle flips bullish. Here's my target at this area right here, but I'm going to secure at this wick. and let's see how this plays out. Let me journal this. Right? Like you could do that. Maybe not put money on the line right now with US 30. This thing moves, man. This is a crazy pair. This is crazier than gold. If you think gold's already crazy. But when it comes to like sitting down and getting your 7 hours of back testing a week, right? 1 hour a day. That back testing should be spent on GJ.
Your main pair, right?
Main parents. That's your baby. Again, you guys want to take pride in this group of being the go-to person for GJ, being the go-to person. Jody, you were saying that AJ or AU is what you trade.
AU.
AU. Okay, so let's say you wanted to be the go-to person for AU. That's everyone in this group can go to Jody and ask him what he thinks about AU, and they'll have a pretty good confidence level behind sticking with that trade and actually taking it if they do their own analysis and it makes sense to them. And if they trade that pair. But yeah, US 30 is interesting.
Yeah, US 30 can take your money if you're not careful.
Oh yeah. So Jody, you're into crypto, correct?
I have look for not trading, just holding positions.
Okay. See, this is something that I'm looking to get more into and expand my horizons when it comes to crypto. Because like based on exactly what I was just talking about, for the past couple of years, I've been only focused on Forex. And my focus level when I came into Forex was securing my discipline and making sure that that was number one, the number one thing that I focused on, the number one thing I mastered, all that stuff. So when you're focusing on discipline, one of the things is focusing on one thing. So I knew the new shiny toy across the street was crypto, but I'm not going to spend my time on that yet before I master foreign exchange, before I master economics, before I master the fundamental part of this, right? Like I learned how to trade technically, right? My mentor is a straight technical trader. What I wanted to do was get into the why of these moves. Why are these moves happening? Let me learn some fundamentals. Let me learn some economics. I didn't study economics in college, right? I studied criminal justice. So like there's things that there's more levels that you could be reaching. There's more things that you could be doing to expand your horizons and get better at what you're doing. So instead of looking at the new shiny toy crypto, I was trying to master this game. So now that I'm pretty confident with this, I guess you could say I'm looking to get more into crypto and understand it a little bit more. I'm not trying to miss this .com era bullish run.
Yeah, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it like last week it wicked down to like 8,000 or 9,000. It was crazy, just real fast.
Let's see.
One wick.
I have a couple cryptos on here. Crypto. Bitcoin.
Get liquidity. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how that's 60 right now.
Oh damn! So we dipped down to 6,000 yesterday.
Or that's 60,000.
Or 60,000. Let's take a look at this. So we had these historical highs back earlier in the year around April. What's up, Gio?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great.
Awesome. Just want to introduce you to Jody out in Oklahoma. Jody, this is Gio from California.
What's up, Gio?
What's up, man?
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Gio, what's California? The Sunshine State?
What was that?
The Sunshine State? California?
Right now, no. It's actually raining.
Well, I was gonna say politically too. um so yeah, crypto tapped into 67,000 and ended up rejecting and retesting this previous resistance. Gio, real quick. So what I did was I'm making these lives a little bit more organized, where in the beginning, like, we all come in, we all like talk our shit, say hello, all that stuff. And then, I'm going to start the recording for YouTube, so that specifically for you that came in a little bit later, you're going to be able to start the YouTube video, and it's going to start right from the market breakdown. And it's a little bit more organized, so you can watch it right from the beginning and understand like what's going on fundamentally and technically this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that moving forward, just a little bit more organized. It's not like we're robots and it's taking away from anything that we do. It's just like just me straight talking for a little bit, going over the fundamentals and technicals, keeping everything organized, and then we kind of start talking and breaking things down, looking at previous trades that we've taken that's in the group Trello over here. But this is going good. I'm proud of you guys with this. We got to keep this up. And again, like I said, it starts with me. When it comes to using this and utilizing this, we haven't done it as much as we were in the beginning, but we got to get back to it. Look at all these trades that we used to post in here. Everyone posting their trades. Like, this is how you get better. And we can all use this time where you have a pair like GJ and gold right now ranging, right? You got a range on here. You got a range on gold. Gold's kind of just sitting in here. That's where we can study our previous trades and bounce ideas off of each other and use our time to our advantage. But looking at Bitcoin over here, this is interesting because I'm looking to purchase more. But part of me feels like, we're too high right up here. Like, could we be coming back down a little bit more? So I'm glad we get another crypto enthusiast. I know Gio's into crypto, right?
A little bit.
A little bit. But we got Jaden. Jaden's really big into it, and sounds like Jody is too.
Yeah, I was Stefanos, I was looking at on my chart, I was looking at the Bitcoin chart and it went down to 8,200 on the 21st, but I don't see it. I don't see it on yours for some reason. Maybe it's just a different feed or something.
Wait, you're saying it went from 60 to 80?
Yes.
Really?
On the 21st. I mean, just one candle. And
that
then
actually happened?
Came right back up, yeah. But I don't see it on your.
Well, it's different liquidity provider. So on TradingView, yeah, okay, so you know that. That's strange. Let me see.
Yeah, it's
okay. Bitstamp doesn't have it.
I'll send it in.
Yeah, please do. I don't see it on any of these. That means the weekly candle would be like ridiculous. While you're doing that, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. All right, boys. Let's see what we got. Wow.
Can you believe that?
Do I what?
That's crazy, huh?
That's insane.
How'd you like to have a order in there?
I mean, I don't. So this is binoculars. Let's see if we can find this. That's crazy. Binoculars. Here you go. Wow, I was blown away. Before I was checking all these, I missed this one. That's pretty crazy. Now,
Yeah, play that back on the replay.
oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see what we got here. Damn. So is that your broker? Like, did your broker do that too?
No, I didn't even look.
That's kind of crazy. I wonder what that was. That was a government coming in and snatching something up. So now that we're at the support and we're holding support over here, might be a good time to grab some. I'm pissed I missed this. DJ and Gold still not doing much. Gio, how'd you finish your week last week?
I was 4% up last week.
5 up?
4%.
4%. Perfect. Love to hear it, man. I think a lot of us had really good weeks. Like I said, I think last week I was talking about this, but like I am looking to get more guys in here. I'm glad we got Jody in here. Right mindset. I am going to be selective, like I always have been. But I just think with the right-minded people in here, this thing is going to be really special. So we're just going to keep it up and keep adding guys in and keep improving. If there's anything that you guys think can be improved in the group, just let me know. I'm always open to constructive criticism, so just let me know. I'll be asking you guys as well, but really looking to improve it. But I mean, I love Jody's mindset. Jody, you were saying the other day, like you don't care what it takes, how long it takes, whatever the case may be, you're gonna succeed at this. So I love that mindset.
I've made up my mind.
There you go. There you go. You put enough behind it. You put enough work into it. Only way you fail is if you quit.
Right.
So how is living out there? You see a lot of tornadoes?
You know, I've lived here my whole life, and I've only seen 2 tornadoes. But
Really?
you hear about them all the time.
Were they crazy?
Yes. Yeah, they were pretty scary.
I live in Jersey and I've only seen 2 tornadoes.
But there are people around here that go follow them and
Yeah.
chase them and do all kinds of dumb stuff.
My fiance had a friend over this weekend that has never seen Twister. You guys have seen Twister, right? Bill Paxton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was in Oklahoma, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Who hasn't seen it? I think Reed said he did, right?
Yep, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've never
that's a
seen it.
classic. I put that on for her when we were watching it. It's pretty crazy. Forget where I was going with that, but Oh, that's right. That was a movie I watched when I was younger, and I went a straight year. I think I was only in like third or fourth grade, but I went a straight year thinking that that's what I was going to do for a living is chase tornadoes. Gio, have you seen Squid Game yet?
Oh, I only watched a part of the first episode, and I don't know, for some reason, my brain was just like, oh, I think this is just like the what do you call that? Hunger Game.
Hunger Games?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, very similar, right? Definitely more gory. I haven't really watched it yet. I only watched the first half of the first episode.
Way more gory.
It's
Sure.
very gory.
Yeah. Like super. Like when I was like, there's way too much killing, you know?
Yeah. Is it too much psychologically?
Yeah, if you see like you really think about it and over money too, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, I don't know,
it's
it's
just uncomfortable.
yeah, a little uncomfortable due to like just the killing, right? Like it was like too much and everything.
Little too
Only time
close
I
to
seen
home
that
for
in
you
a
guys
movie
up in
was John
Canada.
Wick, so pardon?
Okay, I said a little too close to home with you guys up in Canada with those policies up there. Now I was listening to somebody react to it, like their reaction to Squid Game. It was pretty interesting. So it made me want to watch it. I didn't know it was um, a Korean show. It's pretty cool. Looks like gold is starting to break up here. Is anybody looking at anything specific?
did you guys take GJ South under 30-minute time frame?
Yes. So I took GJ right over here. Let's actually expand this. There we go. So around 520, I ended up taking this right around here. We ended up breaking the low, creating this top wick. We were actually respecting this EMA over here. This candle and kind of like broke up and formed like almost like a fake out over here, where we then continued down. And the reason I closed down here was because I had a feeling that price wasn't going to come down and retest 156, but maybe we form like this higher low, maybe, and we continue to consolidate or we break up. So I ended up closing the full thing down here at like 15 pips, but it was actually a good close. But yeah, now we're starting to range. It's a little messy. How about you, Gio?
No, I just missed this retracement right here at 7 a.m.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, once I grabbed this move and we came right back up into this range, I had a feeling this could have happened, but I was good without it. Jumping in. Jody, just wanted to point something out real quick with some of these channels. So as you can see, we have the fundamental feed right here, which is kind of new. And a lot of these sources are sources that we take a look at, like Forex Live. Have you ever heard of Forex Live?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Forex Live is one of my favorites to look at when it comes to fundamentals. But we also use FX Street, and it's like an RSS auto feed that comes in here. FX Empire is a really good one as well. FX Street, Daily FX is a good one. But and then I think we have Forex Factory. But it's just like a feed that comes through. If you see an article that appeals to you, obviously go ahead and read through it, but just a good thing to have in here. And then we have the fundamental chat, which is like if you read an article that you think is important, feel free to send it into here.
Okay. Yesterday those were popping up, and I was reading some of them.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you kind of got the gist of what that was. Cool. Then you got all these other channels. Other than Jody, do you watch football?
No, not really. I like the Cowboys. But
Okay.
I'm not really up with what's going on.
Yeah, there's about 10 of us that are that we have a fantasy football league in here. Anybody that was interested was free to join.
Thank you. Would you, I know I'm supposed to focus on GJ, but would you since we've got time, would you look at EJ?
Yeah, of course.
Looks like it's getting ready to break.
Yeah, do you
Low on the 1 hour?
Did you send a chart?
No, but I will.
So yeah, send a chart over and I'll go take a look over here. Oh yeah, we're breaking the low over here. We had that the reason we have this bearish movement is that German IFO business sentiment. Business climate, yeah, that came out worse than expected this morning. So we've been bearish over here. Let's take a look. So right now we're creating a lower high so far, all right? Price created this high up here after breaking 127,300. We broke that resistance over here. We started breaking all the way up to create this new high. If you want to move this to the left, there you have it.
I didn't even look at the higher time frame. I was just looking at the 1 hour.
Well, that's good though. It's good that you caught yourself.
Yes.
We're starting to break the low of the weekly right now. Weekly created its top wick over here and starting to break the low. Looking at the daily, again, it's breaking the low of the daily. You got a clean move to the left so far. 4 hour. 4 hour has this support right over here. Price breaking below it. 4 hour is going to close in about 45 minutes. 1 hour is breaking below. Let's see how fast this moves. How much volume do we have? Oh, wow. EJ's been moving. It's a good amount of pips over here. So could EJ come back down into this support right over here? It's probably our next level. It's going to get dicey once we reach 131,700. But so far, I like the formation. See, it's the 1 hour, 30-minute is breaking below. Would you say this is a main pair of yours, Jody?
I like it. This and AU is pretty much what I've been looking at.
Okay, cool. Now, what I like is the fact that the 15-minute just closed bearish, grab liquidity, close a strong bearish candle, engulfing candle. The current 15-minute candle looks like it's creating its top wick and may end up passing the low of that candle. But you
Right.
want to always toggle between the higher time frames and the lower time frames, taking a look at where price is, what price looks like on those time frames. Like, is this move right over here a little overextended? I don't know. You know, you get this move right here. We get that little retracement. Could we end up mirroring this move right here? So maybe we could come down to 131, 800. But I think the 15-minute needs to flip back. Definitely cleaner price action than GJ right now, though.
Hey, Steph.
What's up, bro?
I'm about to go to work, but
Cool.
I was looking at GJ on a 4-hour,
Okay.
and so I seen that the previous 4-hour candle, like, you know, it respected 150, 156, 790 area.
Okay.
I just
700.
I just want to say that I feel like if the next 4-hour candle closes below 15600, I'll probably be looking for sales.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, if we close right back below 156, you got at least a nice move right back down to 155, 400 or 350 actually. Get a clean
Yeah.
move here. But let's see. Let's see if we get that. So far, we're in such a bullish range, bullish trend that we got to see what we get. The price so far is bouncing off 156 and this previous support, previous resistance of 156. So maybe we end up ranging in here, just like what we saw if we go back to the weekly. Take a look at what we got once we broke 156 over here back in 2013, created this high at 160, and we ended up ranging in here. And then they ended up increasing interest rates and just driving right up. So are we going to end up consolidating in here? I don't know. Just because they're talking about increasing interest rates next week, or not next week, but next month in November and December. So you can only get so much ranging in here before they increase interest rates, because once they increase interest rates, you'll see this thing skyrocket. But Carlos, have a great day Have a great day at work. Keep that momentum up for this week. It's a big week, end of the month, finish the month strong, and then we'll go into next month, November, of having one of the best months we've ever had as far as your trading goes.
Yes, sir, for sure. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Awesome, man. Stay focused, get in that gym. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bet. All right, peace.
See you, buddy. So, Jody, you thinking about taking EJ?
No,
Okay.
I was thinking about it, but I hadn't looked at the higher time frame. So
Yeah. Let's see. Got a nice little double top up here. It's exciting, Jody. You don't have a trading plan. You haven't journaled yet, so there's so much room for you to improve now, and I love seeing that. I love kind of implementing some stuff that I've done into someone else's game, and then just watching them kind of take off.
yeah, I'm very optimistic for the future.
Oh yeah, man! It's all about focus. How far in the course are you?
I've done the first 3.
Perfect.
I'm trying to go slow and
Yeah, there's no rush.
do them right.
There's no rush. There is a rush, but there's not. When I say that, it's like I always say this to people. When it comes to trading, it's so much different than business and everything else. But you want to be extremely patient with the process, but extremely impatient with the work that you put in. So like I said before, like every second counts in your day, every minute counts, and you got to use them as wisely as you can. And that's where that comes in. Like there's a book that I was reading this past weekend on stocks, and the thing is, I don't know, it's 5-6 parts long, and I got through 4 within 2 days, and it's just like all I cared about was focusing on this.
Have you ever listened to the book that you guys posted for Trading in the Zone?
Yes. What about it?
I got into that. That's good.
Oh yeah, you haven't read that yet?
No,
Oh, you're gonna like that a lot.
I'm chapter 4, I think.
Yeah, you're gonna like chapters 5 and 6, and you're gonna like chapters 10 through 13. So you found that in the books channel?
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's a bunch in there. A bunch of suggestions, but also there's a lot of like audiobooks and free books in there too. Trading in the Zone, you got Quarters Theory, Jaden sent in, Market Maker Method, Naked Forex. You ever read Naked Forex?
No, but I've seen it around.
Yeah, that's huge for what's it called? Price Action. It's like the best price action book, I think. Man, I haven't traded EJ in a minute. Guys, how about Alec Baldwin? You guys hear about that?
God, it's crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually.
That's terrible. And things keep coming out about this too, because somebody was complaining about gun safety on the set. People kind of being stupid with their guns, with their prop guns. Also, the crew members were using the guns to go shooting, like while they were off set. Like, and there was a live round in there. That's nuts.
And like unpaid employees, walking off the set 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so what happened with that?
I just heard on the news that the whole crew about 2 weeks ago ish walked off the set because he didn't pay him. So what that led me to believe was maybe there was a disgruntled employee or something who maybe put a bullet in there. I mean, there's just all kinds of things coming out.
That is so messed up. That is messed up. Yeah.
That is insane. That is the craziest story I've ever heard.
I know, it's nuts. Alec Baldwin. Gio, you put some good books in here. Let's see this. The Secret. Think and Grow Rich. Obviously, it's a really good one. Live the 5 Wealth Principles. Your Next 5 Moves. There we go. Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Good books. Your Next 5 Moves. I highly recommend that one. Wow, Gio, you there?
Yes, sir. What's up?
I think it's the first time we realized that we both liked Patrick Bet-David.
Oh, because of his book?
Love it. Your Next 5 Moves is one of my favorite books of all time. PBD is the beast. Never missed a podcast. So we're... Yeah, Jody, do you know who Patrick Bet-David is?
I do not.
Oh man, I think you would like him a lot based on our conversation the other day too. Great podcast. He has valuetainment. I guess I'll plug Patrick.
What's his
Bet-David.
name?
Patrick Bet-David. I'm pulling him up right now. He is a immigrant from Iran. This guy. 3 million subscribers. This guy right here. Just a great way of communicating. He does these interviews with people all over the world, people of different viewpoints of him. And they kind of have these debates, but it's mainly just him asking them questions. He's got this Mafia series where he's interviewing people in the mob, but he's interviewed Kobe Bryant. He's interviewed like a lot of these people. I like these series right here, the how-tos, like business lessons. He does like just these breakdowns on these chalkboards of like what's going on, U.S. versus China trade war, the rules of money. He does one on taxes, U.S.-Iran conflict. But they have this podcast that's just like really good. I think you would like it.
I think I would too.
He has this economist on, Danielle DiMartino. Very smart when it comes to economics, and I like when she's on the podcast. She always has some good insight. She was on a couple weeks ago. This is interesting. This guy.
The thing I like about their podcast is that it's not just one-sided. So, you
Politically?
get to think, you get to think for yourself. So, I mean, Adam, that's sometimes he has a point wherein you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Rarely. No, I'm kidding. No, I do like Adam. I respect Adam for being on there too. But they have these different viewpoints and all that stuff, and that's what you want. And I think I saw two different things. I follow Gerard on Instagram, and he was hinting at a possible run for governor of Florida for Patrick Bet-David if what's his face were to go into the presidency. DeSantis. So I saw that, and I also saw them. They were kind of hinting at it on the podcast of them opening a media company, not a social media company, but news of just fair news, right? Without any biases, just delivering facts of what's going on around the world, and that's it. So I would love to see that. I would love to see either one. I would love to see him as a governor.
I think so. I think he's probably trying to target, because last time he kind of giving a hint, like, they were like on the comment section, they were asking him if he could run for office in the White House. That he was like, that's the only thing I can't do because I'm an immigrant.
Exactly.
And then he was kind of like, oh, but if they will ask me to be an advisor to the president, definitely. That's what he was trying to say. Okay. So and then he started attending this. I forget which one it is. There's an event with Governor DeSantis and some mayors in Florida, and he was there. And
was he?
Yeah, Instagram story.
Wow, that's awesome. I think he has everything it takes to be a governor, and it seems like in the last, I would say, year, since really COVID happened, it just seems like he's like positioning himself to possibly do something like that. Because like, what's the next level? He's like really mastered media, mastered the insurance game, and he's a dude that's always talking about constantly leveling up. And he's very much into politics. You saw him on Joe Rogan. All he wanted to do was talk politics.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Is he more of a conservative type or?
he describes himself as a capitalist, right? Like that's
Yeah, good.
he doesn't like labeling like Republican, Democrat, and all that stuff, but like he's very strong on calling himself a capitalist. Like he's all about that, and he's all about freedom of speech and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So obviously, you can see
Good.
where he aligns himself,
Mhm.
and you could definitely hear it the way he talks. But he's also very fair.
Yeah.
Like I've heard him call Trump out on this shit. I've heard him. You know, he is very fair, but you could definitely tell he's definitely leans one way. But if there's anybody that I could see creating like a fair media company of, let's say, you know, between CNN, Fox, NBC, MSNBC, all of these, like him creating, and I know like Newsmax and OAN kind of stepped in for the conservative movement, trying to get like their fair viewpoints out, but at the same time, that became very right wing, right? He wants to create something that, you know, he's got people on both sides, and with his podcast and having people like Adam on, he's showing that he's not afraid of different viewpoints. One of my favorite interviews of him is with a communist, and he's a heavy capitalist, and he had this communist on. I forget the guy's name. It's kind of crazy, but they were basically just going back and forth, solid debate, respected each other after. But one of his favorite things he likes to do is just debate people of an opposite viewpoint.
Right.
So I think you would like him a lot.
Did you see Trump SPAC company, stock company?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
came out, went
the
up 900, 800% or something?
Yeah, I thought it was like 1,200.
Maybe it was.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We need other forms of social media. We need, you know, no more censorship. This country's going down a crazy hole. But with that, I'm gonna wrap up the recording on YouTube. Guys, have a great day.